We interrupt this program to bring you a special announcement from News Central in New York.
We have just received word of a startling development in the Earth satellite race. It has been announced in Washington that the United States will soon launch Yul Brynner as a space satellite. The announcement was made following a special meeting of the President with a group of scientists, during which they saw films of the King and I. Now for the reaction in Washington to this news, we switch you to our correspondent, Huff Baines.
Well, the reaction here is varied. Speaker of the House Rayburn was delighted in the choice of Brynner. We hunted several hours for John Foster Dulles before we found him for comment. He had been in his office. And he observed that Yul Brynner was a good man to head this assignment. Meanwhile, Governor Faubus's only comment was that Arkansas would definitely not be the site of the launching. Yul Brynner himself, incidentally, was not immediately available for comment. As a matter of fact, no one seems to know his whereabouts at this time. On the labor front, James Hoffa objects to the use of Brynner as he is not a member of the Satellite Union. Well, that's the reaction from Washington. Now back to Chicken Little in New York.
And now for the foreign reaction to this news, we switch you to the Russian Embassy and our correspondent, Tam O'Shanter.
The Russian Embassy has been a beehive of activity since the announcement that the United States plans to launch Yul Brynner as a space satellite. The first official reaction was an announcement by the Soviet ambassador that Brynner actually had been invented by the Russians years ago. Oh, here's the Russian ambassador now. Perhaps we can get him to comment. Sir, what is your reaction on this news? He said that, the ambassador reports that, according to the ambassador, well, as a matter of fact, I don't speak Russian. Now back to Chicken Little in New York.
Now for the reaction in Hollywood, we switch you to Los Angeles and our correspondent, Jimmy Celloist. Greetings from Hollywood, ladies and gentlemen. Well, the celluloid circles are all aglow over the news of Yul Brynner's exciting new role. Michael Todd immediately announced plans for a new production to be called Around the World in 80 Minutes, to be kicked off with a big party on Mars, and I do mean Mars. Exclusive. Fashions have reacted. The latest fad among the feminine stars is the new satellite hairdo. The girls shave their heads and stick antennae in their ears, and I do mean antennae. Exclusive. Jane Mansfield shocked the film capital by wearing a new bathing suit to her press conference that featured the Yul Brynner look all over. And I do mean all over. But the biggest news regarding this story has come from Confidentially magazine, whose lead story this month is titled, Yul's Not Right for a Satellite. In the article, Confidentially accuses Yul of actually wearing a ball toupee. This is Jimmy Celloist in Hollywood, now back to Chicken Little in fabulous New York. And I do mean fabulous. And now a late development just in off the wires. The senator from Oregon has demanded that Yul Brynner add another 15 pounds to his weight in order that he outweigh the Sputnik. And from Texas comes word that a group of Texas oil men are planning to launch their own satellite. It will be called Jackie Gleason. And now, to get a scientist's reaction to the Brynner satellite, here is the former head of Project Coal Oil, Professor Gabor Jaja. Professor, will the satellite have a regular or irregular orbit?
Irregular.
Why?
Well, the resistance of the small amount of atmosphere or drag will be intensified by the extreme protrusion of the stabilizer of the projectile, thus creating a disturbance of the torque, resulting in extreme fluctuation of the Unterschlafen.
And in the language of the layman?
Too much rear end.
Thank you, Professor Gabor Jaja. And now this late word just in. New York. The stock market has reacted to this announcement with an upward surge in space helmets and ray gun stock. Toupee stocks, however, are down quite a bit. And that's the latest on the Yul Brynner satellite. This is Chicken Little at News Central in New York, returning you to your regularly scheduled program.